Today I'm actually doing Fortnite storylines, and it's been a while since I've actually done this, so lots of stuff has happened. We've all seen that Season 5 has come out, and lots of new locations have come out, including the Viking base. We got Paradise Palms, Lazy Links, and Dusty Depot has changed. Dusty Divot. And lots is actually going on. Well, when I say lots, I mean a few bits are going on, and it's going to start to kick off in the next few weeks, I think, and lots of stuff is going to start to happen. What lots of people have noticed is that the cracks are still not closed, and if I look up, so I've just clicked play, and if I look up, as you can see here, there's still sand coming through the cracks, which means, and they open like that, which means they like anything could still come through them. It's the same with the Viking base. If I look up, you can see people jumping out. You can also see snow that still is coming through, coming down into the Viking base, and that could mean that anything at any time can still come through the cracks. But the most interesting thing about this whole thing is at Loot Lake. So if I go all the way over to Loot Lake, alright, and if I go really high. Okay, so I've actually been having trouble with trying to find it. I've actually tried to find it so much, but I can't seem to get it at all. So what was here was a pyramid, and it was supposed to be here. I will put a picture up on screen right now of it, and that could mean this is where the road trip, which is the character like the blockbuster, but this season's character, could be hiding. So it could be an Egyptian character, who knows, and maybe a pyramid could come up from Loot Lake. It could have been just a glitch in the game, and that's why I can't find it now, because there has been a new update since, and I just can't seem to find it at all. But that could mean that a pyramid could come up from Loot Lake, and that could change the whole game, the whole story, everything. So the next thing is that there is actually lots of heads around the map, which are from different points in time. I think there's one over here, right here. And the funny thing about them is that they're not any usual head, okay? They are pointing, so if I'm lined up with it, every single head are pointing towards Salty Springs. So if I follow this straight, it goes straight towards Salty Springs. See? Okay, and if I go to another head, I'll prove my point. I think there's one over here somewhere. No, greasy. Right here. Here it is. Once again, it's pointing straight towards Salty. And I'll do one more just to prove it, because, you know, third time lucky. There is one over here. Once again, it's pointing straight towards Salty Springs. This could mean that something could be happening to Salty, and it is right above where the big crack is, and we know that nothing has come through it. Also, there's lots of things still expanding out from the crack, which means the crack is still growing, and I think it's still possible for something to come through here. Maybe Salty Springs could change, maybe something could fall on top of it. Who knows? Another thing is that Dusty Divot is actually changed into a jungle, which could mean that if it keeps expanding, it could become a massive jungle, and it could change. The name could change. Who knows? I've heard that maybe it could change to a place called Jurassic Jungle or something like that, and that sounds pretty cool. It seems to have like got very old now and everything, and that could be another like new location. Who knows? Maybe this old Dusty could get built back. I hope that old Dusty does come back, because I do miss it. It was a nice, cool place, but I guess that's what Fortnite want to do to this game. So yeah, that could be happening. The loading screens. So we all know that the new like blockbuster is called the Road Trip for this season, and in the weekly loading screens there is actually like a message being displayed, or maybe something that people could figure out. I did personally, when I looked at it, I did figure this out. It was kind of obvious that in the new loading screen, so week 1 he was just at his basic form, week 2 he'd gone to stage 1, week 3 he'd gone to stage, well, this week, which is coming tomorrow, it's coming at stage 3, and the next week after it could be stage 4. So who knows? I think I've got that wrong, but every new week he's like upgrading and become a new stage, and they are going clockwise around the map, which means they could go all the way around the map until they get all the way over to the Viking base, and maybe that's when Drift will be max upgraded. So that means Ragnarok would be there, and they could have a massive fight. Who knows? Or maybe the Drift is becoming a bad guy or something, because we know that he is from the real world. So we don't know what he's gonna do. Another thing is this. So there is actually trucks moving around the map. I'm not sure if this is just like a normal thing, but I have seen trucks with like lots of planks on the back and like rubbish in and portaloos. Maybe these are heading somewhere around the map with like, I don't know, supplies, and they're gonna like make a place in the map. Or maybe it's heading towards Tilted Towers to continue with like the construction of the building. I assume it's heading to Tilted Towers because that building could still be constructed. So by the end of the season, we could see that that building is like not in construction anymore, and maybe it is just finished and it's become a normal building within the game. Who knows? Because we can see these types of trucks which are over there, and lots of planks on the back of the car. There is also portaloos in here, which means they could be for the construction of this building. So that's another cool thing. So what we can see is maybe that building is going to be fully done by the end of the season. Maybe something's going to come through the crack and hit Salty, because all of the heads are pointing towards it, which could be a coincidence, but I doubt it isn't. I guess it's just going to be actually something. It has to be something to do with the game. We know that the sand's still coming through, and which means all the cracks are still open for anything to come through at any time. And same with the snow. Anything can come through at any time, I'm guessing. We know that Dusty Divot could change into a jungle, and the name of the place could change. Who knows? That is just like, that's just what me and my friends think. I'm not sure if there's like opinions about what's going to happen to Dusty going around on Reddit, but I hope it does change, because I don't really like Dusty at all, to be honest. That is about it for this video. We know that every week the road trip is taking us somewhere else, which means by the end there could be a massive fight. Who knows what the story is going to be? I guess there's loads of opinions floating around at the moment on Reddit and stuff like that, and we are going to find out more towards the end of the season, because we are only in the 3rd week, which doesn't give us enough information, but we do know that there is some weird stuff going on right now, and that's about it for this video.